This is my ranking of fighting games on PS5 that I've played based purely on my personal experience. Each one is placed from masterpiece to trash, depending on how tight the combat feels and how fun the matches are. Let's get straight into the list. Bleach Rebirth of Souls retells the Bleach story from Ichigo Kurosaki's first days as a substitute Shinigami through the Eren Car arc, while mixing cinematic story chapters with 3D arena battles, flashy Bankai awakenings, character-specific abilities, soul break finishers, and a large roster inspired by the anime. After spending time with it, I liked how every fighter had a different style instead of feeling like simple copies. Learning the attack, guard, and break system made fights much more exciting because guessing my opponent correctly could completely change the battle. Watching Bankai transformations and powerful finishers never got old, and the stages looked fantastic during every clash. Story mode had plenty of cutscenes, sometimes more than I wanted, and Versus mode could have offered extra features. Even with those issues, I had a great time mastering different characters and replaying battles just to try new strategies. I'm placing it in the great tier. Tekken 8 continues the long-running rivalry between Jin Kazama and Kazuya Mishima through cinematic battles while expanding its 3D fighting system with the new heat mechanic, rage abilities, destructible stages, a large roster, detailed training modes, and competitive online play. After spending hours with it, I could tell the heat system changed the pace by rewarding aggressive play without making fights unfair. Every match felt fast, and finding the right opening for long combo strings or a huge finisher was always satisfying. The roster offered plenty of variety, so switching characters kept things fresh instead of repeating the same style. I also liked how smooth the controls felt once I learned each fighter's strengths. The story had exciting moments even if a few sections lasted longer than I wanted. And some offline modes were only fun for a short time. This stands as a masterpiece tier fighting game in my ranking. DNF Duel is a 2D fighting spin-off based on the Dungeon and Fighter universe, featuring class-based warriors, fast battles, simplified special move inputs, MP-powered abilities, status effects, online competition, and colorful anime visuals that deliver flashy action without requiring difficult command motions. After getting familiar with the controls, I appreciated how easy it was to perform powerful attacks while still needing smart decisions to win. The MP system kept every match active because I always had a reason to use special moves instead of saving everything for the perfect moment. I also enjoyed trying different fighters since each class had a distinct style that encouraged new strategies. The visuals looked fantastic, with detailed characters and exciting effects making every clash stand out. The story was difficult to follow without knowing the original series, and the online player base could be inconsistent, but the combat kept bringing me back for more matches. This lands in the excellent tier. Samurai Shodown brings weapon-based duels where every strike carries serious weight, rewarding patience, timing, and careful defense instead of non-stop attacks. It features a roster of classic and new warriors, powerful rage abilities, weapon disarms, cinematic finishers, and beautifully designed stages inspired by traditional Japanese art. I quickly noticed that rushing into fights rarely worked because every mistake could cost a huge chunk of health. Slowing down, reading my opponent, and waiting for the perfect opening made every victory much more satisfying. The sword clashes felt intense, and landing a heavy slash at the right moment never stopped being exciting. I also liked how each fighter had a unique rhythm, making it worth trying different characters. Some special attacks felt a little too strong, and the single-player content was fairly limited. But the core combat stayed engaging every time I returned. I'm placing this one in the good tier of my ranking. Naruto X Boruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Connections brings together a huge roster of ninjas from Naruto and Boruto, combining fast 3D arena battles, cinematic special attacks, chakra management, substitution mechanics, online multiplayer, and a new original story alongside a retelling of major events from the anime. After jumping into the battles, I had fun experimenting with different characters, even though many of them shared similar fighting styles. The controls were easy to understand, so I could focus on timing attacks, managing chakra, and escaping dangerous combos instead of struggling with difficult mechanics. Watching signature jutsu and ultimate attacks explode across the screen still looked amazing, and the presentation captured the anime really well. I was less excited by the story mode because it relied too much on simple recaps instead of making those moments more interactive. Even so, the multiplayer battles stayed entertaining, especially when facing skilled opponents who pushed me to improve. I'm placing it in the good tier. Melty Blood-type Lumina is a 2D anime fighting game inspired by the Tsukihime visual novel, featuring fast battles, flexible combo routes, unique character abilities, rollback netcode, arcade-style modes, and a roster where every fighter brings a different approach to combat despite its smaller size. After learning the controls, I enjoyed how freely I could build combos instead of following a fixed pattern every match. The simple auto combos helped at first, but mixing normal attacks, EX specials, and Moondrive abilities became much more rewarding once I understood the mechanics. Every character felt distinct, which encouraged me to experiment instead of sticking with only one favorite. The smooth online matches made practicing against other players much more enjoyable, and the stylish animations made every clash look exciting. I only wish there were more single-player activities because I finished those much faster than expected. It goes in the excellent tier. Soulcalibur VI revisits the legendary weapon-based fighting series with cinematic duels, iconic warriors, deep customization, branching story campaigns, strategic 8-way movement, powerful soul charge abilities, critical edge attacks, and arena stages where positioning matters constantly. After spending time with it, I loved how every weapon completely changed the flow of combat. Swinging massive blades felt nothing like using quick swords or agile spears, so learning each fighter stayed rewarding. The battles balanced offense and defense really well, making every decision important. I also enjoyed creating my own character and taking them through Libra of Soul because it added another reason to keep playing. Reversal edge clashes took some getting used to, but once I understood them, they added exciting mind games. The variety of fighters, satisfying weapon combat, and the amount of content kept bringing me back for more, making it easy to spend hours without getting bored. I'm placing it in the masterpiece tier. The King of Fighters 15 builds on the series' classic 3v3 fighting format with a large roster, fast movement, powerful super attacks, refined max mode mechanics, shatter strike counters, rollback netcode, and strategic team order that rewards smart planning before every match begins. I liked how every team combination encouraged me to think differently instead of relying on the same strategy every time. Finding 3 fighters that matched my playstyle became just as enjoyable as the matches themselves. The combat felt quick, responsive, and satisfying, while the updated mechanics added more options without making things confusing. Online battles stayed smooth even against distant opponents, which made practicing much more enjoyable. I only wish the single-player content offered more variety because I finished most of it much sooner than expected. Even with that limitation, the exciting combat, balanced roster, and reliable online experience kept me returning for more matches whenever I wanted a competitive challenge. I'm placing it in the great tier. Granblue Fantasy vs. Rising is a 2D anime fighting game featuring a diverse roster, refined combat mechanics, rollback netcode, accessible controls, improved training tools, cinematic super attacks, colorful online lobbies, and strategic resource management that rewards both newcomers and experienced players alike. I quickly noticed how much smoother everything felt compared to many other anime fighters I had played. The simple special move inputs helped me learn new characters faster, while the deeper mechanics kept every match interesting once I became more comfortable. Every fighter had a unique personality and playstyle, making it easy to switch characters without losing motivation. The online matches stayed responsive, and the detailed tutorials made practicing much less frustrating than expected. I also enjoyed exploring the extra lobby activities between battles because they added a fun break from constant competition. The polished presentation, satisfying combat, and excellent online features made every session worthwhile. For me, it lands in the excellent tier. Mortal Kombat 1 is a fighting game that reimagines the series with a fresh timeline, cinematic story battles, the Kameo assist system, brutal combos, devastating fatalities, refined mechanics, detailed tutorials, and competitive online play built around strategic offense and defense. I immediately enjoyed how the cameo system completely changed every match. Pairing different partners with my favorite fighters opened creative combo routes and gave me new ways to handle difficult situations. The combat stayed fast without feeling overwhelming, and every victory felt satisfying because smart decisions mattered just as much as execution. I also looked forward to every story chapter because the cinematic presentation kept me invested from beginning to end. Although invasions became repetitive after a while, the excellent combat, memorable roster, and outstanding presentation always pulled me back for another match. Those strengths consistently made every session exciting and rewarding, no matter how long I played. This easily belongs in the excellent tier. Guilty Gear Strive is a 2D anime fighting game featuring breathtaking visuals, creative character designs, Roman cancel mechanics, explosive combos, rollback netcode, a memorable rock soundtrack, and a combat system that rewards both smart strategy and mechanical skill. I was surprised by how approachable it felt despite its reputation for being difficult. Once I understood the Roman cancel system, every match became a chance to experiment with creative combos and unexpected pressure. Every fighter had a completely different style, which made learning someone new feel exciting instead of repetitive. The visuals constantly looked like a hand-drawn anime in motion, while the soundtrack made every battle feel even more intense. Online matches stayed incredibly smooth, so I could focus entirely on improving instead of worrying about connection issues. The combination of outstanding presentation, deep mechanics, and endless replay value kept me coming back long after I thought I had seen everything. This deserves a place in the masterpiece tier. Street Fighter VI combines classic one-on-one fighting with the versatile drive system, a diverse roster, modern and classic controls, smooth rollback netcode, detailed training tools, world tour mode, and polished combat that rewards smart decisions as much as precise execution. I loved how quickly I could jump into matches while still discovering new mechanics after hours of playing. The drive system made every round exciting because managing resources felt just as important as landing combos. I also spent plenty of time experimenting with different characters since each one offered a unique style without feeling difficult to learn. The World Tour added a fun break from competitive matches, and the tutorials helped me improve naturally instead of feeling overwhelmed. Every fight looked fantastic. The online experience stayed consistently smooth, and the amount of content kept me coming back long after my first session. This deserves a place in the excellent tier. That's my ranking of the best fighting games I've played on PS5. Some games stood out for their combat, others for their style, but these are the ones that left the biggest impression on me. Thanks for watching.